Outside, you had a fantastic transition of taking the company over from your dad. What was his response to EOS? Because you're the one that decided, you found it, and you were going to implement it. What was his reaction to it?
So it was, if you want to put the work in and implement this, and then go ahead if you think this is the way to go. For me, it was a good start because it was a little bit different than how Dad was running things. So it was a good time for us to try. I'll say, I know it had been around for a while, but for us it was a new idea, new philosophy, new program. But so it was at that time, let's take this to the next level and let's really work on it.
Yeah, I was golfing with a guy on Saturday at a company golf tournament. One of my clients invited me to, and there was a person there who have used you and Ram. They've worked with you and your dad and a number of other construction companies. They said by far they felt the most comfortable when they were dealing with you and your company because of the information, and they always knew what was going on. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. Our, for us, construction, it's easy. We know it's, take it for granted, the fact that some don't understand the construction process, and there's a lot of stress and anxiety and a lot of dollars being spent on something. So we really want to focus on making sure our clients and our customers know what they're getting themselves into so that they're comfortable and we can walk them through that whole process. I mean, most projects you're at least on site for a year, or another year of planning, so you're working with someone for about 2 years. So you want to make sure you have that relationship.
So we really find that EOS is very effective in family businesses, especially transition. What's your advice for business owners who are taking over from their parents?
I would say get a coach, someone like Kevin. So I met Kevin before he was working with EOS. So, but having someone, other business owners, people that are in a similar situation myself, being able to talk to them, consult with them, that was huge. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to say I don't know something. So I guess almost be vulnerable in it as well. You're given a great opportunity and you want to take that and make the best of it. So why not get the resources in place to get it there?
Cool. Yeah, you're an all-star.
Right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Kevin.
And your dad was part of a peer advisory board, right? And then he put you on a peer advisory board and took the step to put the EOS into the system. And I'm only supposed to work with you for a couple of years anyway, so it's exactly the way it was supposed to work. Yeah. And you've really led a company to phenomenal success.
Thank you.
The question on value, when somebody says to you, geez, Jeff, that's a lot of money, what's your response to them as a business owner?
Well, okay, I would say I maybe had similar comments in the first year. Looking back at it, though, it would be stick through it. It takes 2 years. I mean, you've said this many times, and I've held you to those words until the magic happens, but you got to really commit to it and do those first 2 years, which are, first year is tough, establishing everything and making sure it's in place, getting the team on board. But once you have the team on board and the right people in the right seat, that's when the magic happens. Yeah.
Here's another question for you. So the business owner goes, oh, I just can't get my team behind it. What's your advice to them?
Okay, without knowing the team and how the company works, I don't think they have the right team in place. That would be my answer. So yeah.
I think about when people ask for success stories, it's I don't get tied up too much in the numbers in terms of how much they grow sales wise and profit. That's kind of a given. Yeah. But it's the healthy part. It's where people are now communicating face to face, and you're not afraid to have a conversation with somebody because you've been trained on how to have that conversation. And the one you want to avoid as a manager when you're having somebody who's not meeting the core values or doesn't get it, want to have the capacity. So pick out individual companies and say huge success stories. I have business owners that would say they wouldn't be in business today, and I'm like, whoa! I had no idea. They were just at their final step of they had just had enough, the frustration, right? If I want to build a house with Rachel and we buy a lot, the first person we go to is an architect. And the architect, sits down with us, asks us what we want, then we go away and then we come back and have a blueprint. And that blueprint is so that if you're on site as a plumber or a foundation layer or a drywaller, you don't have to talk to anybody. You see what the plan is. Unfortunately, most business owners, they just start their business and start working. Then they get to 40 employees, which seems to be the ceiling usually, where you just can't hold it together. Because you haven't drawn a blueprint and nobody knows what you're doing. You're just walking around with it in your head. It's just chaos.
Yep.
So you have a business owner going, this is just chaos. And so, you know, I think the success thing is number one, freedom. 5 years ago and said, hey, don't pay me anything. Just give me 20%. We'll have the company valuated. And 5 years from now, you just pay me 20% over the valuation.
Yep.
And I'll be your partner. I would have probably put in my pocket about $23 million this year.
Really?
Right.
So you could almost say that that could be considered somewhat of a success story of why EOS can help companies grow and be more profitable. And
average growth is about 23%. It's over 20% in both sales and profit.
Okay.
You know, of our average companies, because we've kind of sent in our numbers of our companies anonymously, not with names of companies, but just what the number of growth is, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I know here in our world, we have seen our revenues increase each year. We have, you know, seen a lot more efficiencies in our processes, and hopefully that turns into more profitable years ahead as well.
Yeah.
So I know our involvement in it, we've been, I guess, 8 years now, and I know you helped us implement it. We do some of our own self-implementation on our quarterlies and yearly and annuals. But
Yeah.
For any business owners who will be watching this video, is there something that you want to share?
For any business owners, well, I wouldn't mind getting some clips from this of Jeff, so I'll ask him some questions. All right. With RAM, you know, you follow the EOS system. You have core values. The culture's aligned. You have a core focus. You have your 8 cash flow drivers up here on the wall, and all the tools, so everybody understands. You know, these concepts that most companies don't understand. What would you say is the number one benefit of EOS?
So for me, it's the freedom to work on the business, not in the business, as I kind of mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So the freedom to further develop the company, look for more opportunities, help the company grow, diversification through other potential business opportunities. But I also really enjoy watching the team excel at what they're good at. So empowering others to be the people they want to be and hold others accountable and help me run the company.
Yeah.
So I know one of the other tools we use a lot of is the TTIs, or personality survey, and I like it because I find now that I've done them a couple times that it actually truly tells you a lot about that person. So do you mind touching a bit on how knowing that side of different people you work with may help with day to day?
So, you know, we have, I believe in mastering EOS. So I used to be certified in behavior assessments. So we do Colby, we do TTI, Trimetrics, and that kind of stuff. And I just get somebody else to do it with my clients like we do with you. But the big thing is when you look at true, like being real as a real person, you've got a high level of self-awareness. And so you need to understand, you know, through your, like I'm a high quick start. I'm bouncing off the walls, and I should never be managing people because I'm not organized and I can't think something through, and you know, and it's about me. It's not about the team, right? So basically, not a good person to be managing, and so all these behavior assessments do is let you know you're gonna find out about this person in 6 months. But 6 months is, you've wasted 6 months if it's the wrong person, right? Take a people person and put them into a paper job, or take a paper person and put them into a people job, and you've wasted 6 months now. Where if you get somebody who, I'd rather snort rat poison than develop an Excel spreadsheet, right? Whereas there's people that love doing that. They can, like, you know, Rachel can create 7 pages and they sing to each other in minutes, right? And that's just something that I just shake my head. So people have, you know, get their energy from different things. So I understand where people get their energy as opposed to wasting our time. Yeah, I always tell people, if you go to a conference and the speaker says you need to work on your weaknesses, get up and leave the room. That is just such hogwash. Okay? You don't have to work on your weaknesses. You have to know what your strengths are, where your energy comes from, and delegate to those people, because there are people who do love doing that stuff and they're great at it.
Yeah. It's finding that task for that person, and why would you expect someone not to excel at something that they're good at?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, Kevin. Thanks for coming in and touching a little bit. I mean, I know people can look up, obviously, through Kevin Armstrong if they want to know more about EOS worldwide.
Thanks.